Everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing a reaction and review for Uncharted: The Lost Legacy's Riverboat Revelation cinematic trailer. I'm super excited for this. They just recently revealed the release date for this, so I'm super excited for that. For anyone who may not know it, I'll wait because I'm sure it's going to be like at the end of this where they'll show the official date and everything, so I won't say it right now, but I'm super excited for this. I love the Uncharted franchise. This has Chloe, who is missing from Uncharted 4, which was like my biggest issue with that game. So she's in it as a main character. Nadine is in it as a main character. So I'm super excited for that. I love both those characters. And I'm super excited to see what this story has. Hopefully we get to see Cutter in this. He was the only other person that was actually missing. Referenced, but not seen. So I hope we do get to at least see Cutter, because those are the only two characters, Nadine and Cutter, that were missing. So we know we got... we know we got Chloe. I said Nadine, but Chloe and Cutter were missing. We know we got Chloe. Hope we get Cutter, and we're gonna get right into this. There she goes. So of course it looks really good. I'm not surprised about that. And if I remember right, this takes place partly in India, or maybe all in India. I don't really remember.
How are we going out there? On schedule. Should hit lanes in about an hour. Great. The tusk of Ganesh. No wonder the Hoysala capital was ransacked. Look at this thing. Any luck? I don't need luck. Let's say we can use all the luck we can get. Are you still hung up on the so-called expert? Don't worry. If Assault's not in the gates already, he'll be right on our heels. Plus, he's got weapons. Transports hundreds of men.
I'm going to assume this is somewhere in the middle.
Don't worry.
Of the game, I mean, obviously.
Looks like some kind of key. Maybe. Let's see. Trident was Ganesh's weapon. The bow and arrow was Parashurama's, and the axe was a gift from Shiva.
I would like to note, her face looks way better than that premiere trailer, because that was clearly Nate's model, and her face was really big.
Lost his task, and I bet we'll find these.
Very different. Still bigger face than, I feel like her face is still smaller than that from the other games, but much better than that premiere that they did, because I'm like, that's definitely, that was definitely like Nate's model from like the very first Uncharted 4 trailer, and I could easily tell that because I was like, she looks insanely manly, and I was hoping they'd change it, and they definitely did, so that's great. That's really good.
Nice work.
Don't know why I did the thing, because it's probably like showing right where my hands are right now. But I'm glad that they changed the model for her face, because I was like, man, I hope that that's not a permanent thing. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I seriously cannot wait to play this. Available August 22nd. I'm super excited for that. That was nice. I figured that that's what it was going to be. I just wanted to see it and do a reaction to it because I love the franchise. And I'm so happy because honestly, Chloe's my favorite character in the whole game. And I've always loved her character. I always play as her multiplayer. Nadine has become one of my favorites as well. Like I always, like those are like the two main characters I choose. Unfortunately, one is good and one is bad when I do multiplayer. It's like I can pick Nadine when the villains show up. I get to pick Chloe when the heroes show up. But they're like honestly, they might be my two favorite characters. Chloe was always my favorite. Not only is she like the hot new character in Uncharted 2, but she is super badass. Like I always liked her because she was a bit more hardcore than Elena was in the games. Even though Elena's pretty tough, Chloe was very clear, like that was kind of what she did. Like that was her thing. So I just always liked her more for that. That's kind of the same reason I like Nadine, because she's attractive, but she loves martial arts. She's super badass. Like when we see it in the first trailer with Chloe, where she does like some moves too, but Nadine in like all of 4, like basically the entire experience versus Nadine was let me just live through this, because she's just roundhousing people. She fought Sam. I mean, jeez, she fought Sam and Nate at the same time. Like, she's doing like 2-on-1 fights, and she's just beating everybody up the whole freaking game. So I'm like, yeah, I love this character. So I'm really happy that the two of them are the main characters for this. Very excited to see, like I said, if we get, to have Cutter, since this, well, we don't know if this will be the last official Uncharted game. 4 was the last one with Nathan Drake. His story's done, but that doesn't mean Uncharted is done. So we don't really know where they're headed with things. With this taking place after 4, there's a little tease as to something else we might see. 2 other characters that could potentially show up, even though that's like a totally different mission. We could see some interaction there if they want to kind of bring them on board, but I'm very excited to see this. I know that it's such a big thing. Like, this mission lasts, oh man, I'm trying to remember. I want to say they said it was like a 10-hour thing or something, because I think on Uncharted 4 is almost like 20 hours or something like that, unless you like fly through it. But they said it was going to be a decent amount of content in this, and it's so much that they're actually making it its own separated release. Like, you can buy this as a physical copy, so that tells me that there's definitely going to be a lot to it. They did say that if you buy it as its own thing, you will have multiplayer with it, and it will come with all like the current stuff, so survival mode, and I would assume you get the content for the levels and outfits. But I'm excited to see what they add. Maybe we'll just get some new levels. I would assume that that's the easiest thing. If we're getting a whole new campaign with new locations and stuff like that, I think that would be the easiest thing to add to it. Like, alright, obviously new location from this whole new campaign. Just take, plug a few levels. We might get like 5 levels out of, this one game in itself. We might get like 5 new multiplayer levels. So that's really cool. We might get to see brand new characters in multiplayer, which obviously that's just an aesthetic thing. None of the characters have different attributes. But just as an aesthetic thing, we might get to see a new villain come in on the villain side of things. Maybe we'll even see a new hero. Maybe there might be someone else that actually ends up working with Chloe and Nadine that we get introduced to. And it seems like that might be what they were hinting at, because Chloe's like, oh, are you upset about your would-be expert or something like that, which I assume that means that person was introduced. Either they betrayed them, they failed, or they failed and they were murdered. So I feel like that's kind of where that lies. But super excited for this. Of course, like I said, I really just did this. Like, I knew it was going to be a trailer and just like a cutscene, but it's Uncharted coming back, and it's like my 2 favorite characters as the main leads for this. So I'm like insanely excited for this game to come out. But of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this trailer. Of course, we don't know that much about it, so I would love to know your theories on where we're headed. That's kind of been put out there, kind of the mission and locale, but we'd love to know what characters you think we might see, what references might be made. I would assume Nathan is going to come up quite a bit, considering we have 2 characters that know him, one being good and one being bad, so I'm sure he'll be referenced. But I would love to see Cutter. He was, like I said, he and Chloe were the only 2 characters that were missing that haven't died. Like, all the other games, all the other people die. So maybe we'll get to, see him show up as well. That's my hope, if this will end up being like the last Uncharted thing that they do, which I'm sure it will be for quite some time, considering we're going into, of course, The Last of Us Part 2. So if it's not the final one forever, it'll be the last one for quite a while, and I hope that we get to see, Cutter show up in this. But we'd love to know what you guys want to see in this. What elements do you guys think they might add to multiplayer outside of adding new levels? Do you think we might get new characters added? Probably new costumes. They might add some stuff for Chloe and Nadine from what they do in this, so they might get a few new costumes as well, which, like I said, for me, that's great, because those are the characters I use the most. But we'd love to know what you guys think will end up being added to, co-op and survival and stuff like that. So definitely want to know your theories on where we're headed for multiplayer, and just what you guys expect to see or hope to see from this new campaign with these 2 new leads. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.